Merry Christmas and Jai Gurudev, everyone present here today. This is Meenal Agarwal, your host for today, and we have gathered here for an interesting webinar. Public Relation and Photography Club, in collaboration with Sri Advanced Global Center for Conflict Resolution and Peace Studies, presents the very first event in the Unfold and Dilate series. Before moving on, I would like to tell what the center is about. This center, ma'am, some live stream. 1 second, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Sri Advanced Global Center for Conflict Resolution and Peace Studies present. Before moving on, I would like to tell you that this Center on Conflict Resolution and Peace Studies focuses on issues of conflict and peace building around the world. Built on the global experience of our founder, president, and inspiration, Pujya Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, a world-renowned humanitarian, spiritual master, and lifetime president, this center studies, analyzes, and advocates innovative methods of conflict resolution and peace building. I would take this opportunity to welcome our guest for this evening, Ms. Mahima Sethi. She has completed her graduation from IIT Bombay in BTech Civil Engineering and is currently working as a consultant with PwC Limited. Ma'am has recently written a book that encompasses 110 poems titled Ink from the Night Skies. She has also awarded with the Sarala Yiva Puraskar from Sarala Sahitya Sansad for the same. Ink from the Night Skies is a delineation of the battle faced by the youth of our world. I personally feel that every youth, including me and my fellow peers who are present here today, can totally relate themselves with her word. Some way or the other, we all have come across body shaming, social anxiety, depression, self doubt, and so on due to the various stigmas and the unrealistic standards set by the society. Each one of us is struggling to create their own identity in a world where first impression is the last impression. I would strongly recommend everyone who is attending this webinar to read this book at least once. It may have answers to a lot of questions and doubts we have faced every day. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. Vijayalaxmi Mohanty, who is a distinguished mentor and research scholar. Apart from being a part of University, ma'am has been part of many research papers in both national and international levels. Her thesis on human value in education, a study in Orissa, has received many appreciation. Ma'am is currently the head of the Department of Public Relations and Social Outreach, as well as the faculty in government at SSU. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us this opportunity to host this fascinating session with Mahima, ma'am. We will definitely learn a lot from this session. I now request Vijaya ma'am to share a few words with Mahima ma'am and the rest of the audience. Ma'am, please.
Welcome, Mahima, to Srish University virtually. So you can be a very good inspiring personality for our students who can do multitasking, many things at a time. And today is also a good governance day, is also Christmas day, it's a big day. So you chose this day, and we are also very thankful to you for giving this opportunity to host you today. So tell me, Mahima, that Ink from the Night Sky is your maiden collection of meaningful poems related to life, hope, beauty, positivity, and of course, Lord. How did you develop a habit of writing poems in spite of being an engineer by profession?
First of all, good evening, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Also, thank you. I would like to thank Sri Sri University and Dr. Vijayalaxmi Mohanty, ma'am, and all organizers and attendees for hosting this webinar and being here and providing me with a platform to discuss about my book, Ink from Night Skies. Although I'm not much of a speaker, and I prefer to sit behind my desk and write it out instead. But today I shall try to convey a few words to you all and try to answer all of your questions on this platform you have given me. So coming back to ma'am's question, Ink from Night Skies is my maiden poetry collection, and my writing journey actually began when I was a child. Since then, I have had a habit of jotting down my feelings on paper. It gives me a sense of peace and comfort and a medium to vent. And I think expressing how one feels is difficult for some of us more than others. And I have found that poetry is one of the best outlets and mediums to get in touch with the sentiments that are buried in hidden corners of your mind and which are closed off to rest of the world, and and discovering yourself basically. Not only reading but writing poetry, not only writing but reading poetry also allows one to see into the soul of another and what's weighing on their minds and on their hearts, and open doors to feelings that are sometimes suppressed until that door is opened. And I used to read books and I still do, but I wish that I could convey myself as beautifully as the authors and poets did. And I used to wish I could transfer what I felt and what I saw and immortalize it on a piece of paper so that I could relive it again and again. And I wish that I could find a way to conceal myself in cryptic letters and keep it to myself and share it with only those who had the patience to read and look into my mind to decipher what I was saying. And also as a child, I used to imitate my father a lot. And since he is a poet, I also wanted to write like him. And still there is a long way to go. And my mother has always encouraged me to read a lot of books. And both my parents have been a source of constant inspiration and have always encouraged me to write, and have continued to refill my bottle of ink, I'd say.
Very nicely put it. You put it very nicely together. Certainly, parenting plays an important role in
Hello.
child's life. And, very nice. It's a good parenting tip for all of us. You know, many people of our generation also. So you have written that I use words to fill the blank pages of solitude. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji has also told us that silence is the mother of spirituality, creativity. So, did you find yourself more creative in silence or in solitude?
Definitely, I can concur with Guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji. And writing poetry for me, poetry has given me peace whenever I have felt turbulent, and it has always given me stable ground when I have felt the weight of calamities. It comes to me when the world around you slows down, or maybe it is that poetry slows down the world around you. I think it streamlines your thoughts while soothing the anxiety out of your body. It makes you think. And I believe that God and universe have decided to gift me this book via myself, that I have written to fall back on it and find comfort in these pages whenever I feel the weight of the world. And silence is definitely the mother of creativity, I'd say. And I usually am the most thoughtful and contemplative in solitude. And then I get the opportunity to probe deep into my mind to discover myself and my feelings. In fact, I still am. And maybe that is one of the reasons why I do most of my writing at night, when there is absolute silence, and when all of the world around me is fast asleep. I can hear my thoughts more loudly and more clearly then. um, the more time I spend alone with my thoughts, the more answers I find to questions and problems that I face, and towards finding that purpose that I'm looking for. And absolutely, you need silence once a while to be clearly listen and explore your inner thought processes and emotions. And releasing it on a piece of paper can streamline your thoughts and give clarity even better, because you start to understand slowly start to understand your true self.
Very nice, Mahima. Very nice. Now, tell me, even though I truly believe that women are empowered, but I would like to ask you the question that you have written some beautiful lines on defining beauty. And what are your views on women empowerment? Even though we all feel that women are already empowered and they're born empowered, but women empowered is such a topic now and then everybody discusses, and we also discuss. So, what is your views on empowering women?
Ma'am, I thoroughly agree with you that women as beings are empowered and we are strong. And throughout the years, I have always been amazed by female poets. And for example, Sylvia Plath or Emily Dickinson and Maya Angelou, they have inspired so many people through their empowering verses, and they have rightfully portrayed women as the powerful beings that they are. And the portrayal of their courage to face the world has inspired so many people across the world for decades, generations, and are continuing to do so with their words. And they have questioned patriarchal views of women that society has maintained. And I believe that it is sad that not knowing one's self-worth, but there is no greater power in complete understanding of one's identity. I have written a few lines about acceptance, and which I agree that it did not come very easily to me. And writing these poems on defining beauty and acceptance has given me insights into myself that I never knew existed. And but I have always wanted to understand, and I'm trying to understand. And I have always had issues with my self-esteem, because of the judgment a woman gets on the basis of culturally prescribed beauty standards and beauty parameters. And I think many of us will agree that at one and some point of our life we have experienced it. And poems have truly given me the courage to face societal standards of beauty, and even question those. And they have truly helped me towards my journey, in my journey towards self-acceptance. And I believe that young girls should be taught, they should read the words that women have written for women, and they should be taught, and they should understand that the view media and our society portrays of how an idealized woman should look like, and should how they should behave and look like on based on complexion, body type, hair, etc. That should not matter. And that should not definitely that should not affect our self-worth just on the basis of harsh societal standards. In fact, self-love and self-acceptance should be ingrained in us since childhood. And we should be told that women are beings are powerful and beautiful for the values and the strengths that they hold inside them. And to do that, we need more and more feminist voices in our state, in our country. So those are my views on I think women's empowerment and my poems on defining beauty.
Very nice, Mahima. I'm amazed to see your understanding about. You are talking about such a mature person. How do you acquire such a deep understanding of life in such a young age? So, of course, people inherit a lot. People come with an intelligence, I believe. So, yeah, yes. So now you tell me about your name. You have a beautiful name, which has a beautiful meaning as well. It signifies God's glory. You have written that in your poem as well. So, do you believe that name can influence to shape your personality?
I think that name can in subtle ways influence one's personality, but who you become is entirely up to you. And sometimes your name can uplift and inspire you to live up to your name, and your parents bestow it upon you as a representation of who you are and who you should be. And my name, I was born when my father was working in Sonpur district of Odisha, which is known for world famous saint poet Bhima Bhoi, and Bhima Bhoi had chosen to live there for about 2 decades in the latter part of 19th century, and he had made immense literary contributions to popularize an indigenous religion of Odisha, which is named as Mahima Dharma. And a sadhu of this sect used to visit our residence and had foretold my parents that a daughter would be born, and to asked him to name me as Mahima. So I still remember I was very small, and but I still remember having played with him and with the saint, and how he used to lift me up on his shoulders with great love and affection. And when he was alive, and when he used to visit my home for a certain number of years, probably it is some kind of divine blessings that have been bestowed upon me, that I am able to write I am able to hold a pen and write poetry. And someday I hope that I'm rightly able to justify my name, which means, like you said, God's glory. And so I would like to say that a name can definitely give a sort of protection, and even create role models for you to follow. But it depends totally on you if you are able to give justice to that someday.
Beautiful, Mahima. Beautiful. Now we have a center, as you have heard Meenal saying it, we have a center for Sri Sri Advanced Global Center for Conflict Resolution and Peace Study. So we do webinars, and we jot down cases of conflict resolution and peace, so that this can be replicated, used by posterity. And so, according to you, please tell us how lasting peace in the world can be restored, and what are the roles the educated adolescent or youth can play in gaining this. So, what is your role in making this world more peaceful, or no, resolving few conflicts? When I say resolving conflicts, I mean societal conflict, intergovernmental conflict, community conflict. So, yes. Yes.
I think youth and our generation can play a major part in lasting world peace, and we have so much potential to make a difference in the society by forming a sustainable foundation for peace and harmony. And I think kindness, empathy, and tolerance play key roles in peace processes. And often younger generations are the ones who are perceived to be having a lack of experience and qualifications and a little rebellious. And but on the contrary, I think that the younger generation is the one who are the ones who are more tolerant and less dogmatic and more universalistic, and more which itself is the basis for peace. And we must try and understand the depth of our society's socio-economic problems, and we should try to understand our cultural differences, because India is a very diverse country. We have so many cultures, so many religions and traditions, and there are so many false impressions that we need to shed, and we need to shed those misconceptions, and and tackle those problems peacefully. And I believe that that can be established via dialogue and discussion and awareness. And as members of society, we I think we as youth must raise our voice to cope up with the evils of the society, like as we know as racism, casteism, and patriarchy, and the prejudices we hold, and terrorism, and solve problems together as a community, I'd say.
Beautiful, beautiful. So youth are more peaceful. You told yes, maybe because of more exposure, and maybe because of multi-faith education, and they are exposed to diversity through new age media. Yeah, that's a very good answer. That's a very good interpretation. Very nice. Today is also a good governance day. Would you like to say something about the day? And maybe, yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, after this, we may ask you, our students want to ask you a few questions, and you will be of their age or 1 or 2 years younger or older than them. So they would also like to ask you a few questions. Yes, please.
Sure. So today is Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee sir's birth anniversary, and also Good Governance Day. And I think I think it's rightly aiming at creating awareness about the accountability in government structures amongst the citizens of the country. And I think Mr. Vajpayee ji was considered as an embodiment of good governance, and he always emphasized that India needed good governance, which works by rules of democracy. So I hope that we can showcase his sheer ability to govern just by observing this day.
बहुत बढ़िया, beautiful. Meenal, we will give opportunity to students to ask you questions. Mahima, also, if you want to ask some questions to our student, you can also ask. We may now it's open for student interaction. Yes, Meenal, over to you. Harshit, you would like to? Yes, please.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to ask that at this age, like at the age of 21, 22, how do you manage to take out your time from social media and other distractions and devote your time to writing? Like, it is very difficult. You were doing engineering, I was going through. So how do you manage to take out time and do this writing thing?
Hi, hello, Harshit. Nice question. I believe that social media has become a very quintessential part of everybody's life, and nobody can avoid it. Avoid it, but it has. I feel that it has latched on to us. Latched on to us, and we should not let social media control our lives, rather than we should have the total power of power over social media. And I feel sometimes it is necessary for us to take breaks from social media. And I have social media accounts, but I regularly take breaks because it becomes very exhausting for me. Uh, and I think that sometimes it is necessary for us to notice the world around us and appreciate the beauty of mundane things, and give space to our brains to introspect, really. And we shouldn't be very bothered about what everybody else is doing and how other people's lives are, and we should focus on improving ourselves instead. And uh, yeah, it totally depends on you, how you manage your time and how you take out time to do things and notice the world around you. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, please. Anybody next? And Mahima's book, name of the book is Ink from the Night Sky. So I would request Mahima or Meenal to share the link of Amazon. No, you may read it. This is a very good book. You may order from Amazon and read it.
Yes, ma'am, I will just be sharing.
If everybody wants, I could read few lines out of my book.
Yes, that would be great.
Also,
Mahima. Please do.
yeah. Like I said, that I wrote something about self-acceptance, and so there's a poem that is that I had written about it. I'll just the poem is titled Unapologetic, and it just, I'm so sorry, I lost the page.
Yes, till Mahima finds this, please see this Ink from the Night Sky. This is a beautiful cover page also.
So I'll read it out. It's titled Unapologetic. It goes something like this. It took me 20 years of existence to be able to adorn the color white, owing to hate and remarks embedded in me and my being since I was only a guileless, starry-eyed child who did not know how to hold a pen even to write her own name. I utterly despised the mirror, wanted to get out of my body, shed and rip apart my skin, beseeching for a straighter nose, a fairer, paler tint. God never listened to my prayers. Instead, with years, goddesses taught me to love the color of magic on their skin. They taught me not to be apologetic for being fierce, tearing apart stomachs of men who ridiculed my relics. So that was the poem.
Very nice, very nice. Mahima, you can read out the other one. I have seen you have written on Lord also. Beautiful lines on Lord. You can read that for us as well.
The one on Lord Jagannath.
Yes, yes. So I also believe that God is a personal thing. So how you interpret is purely personal.
So the poem is titled "A Lord of the Universe." It goes like this. I shut my eyes, and your large, bountiful planetary eyes appear in my mind. A wave of relief washes over my cluttered soul. Calmness sweeps my chaos. I do not find answers, but I find warmth. On a cold winter morning, as I catch your eyes, watching over a small human as me, as at the same time as they do over the universe. I shut my eyes and feel oblivion as I sense your vastness stretching from beyond the beginning till beyond the very end.
Amazing, man. Amazing. So I request students to ask you, or you would like to ask something to students. Yeah.
Sure.
What is the plan?
Ma'am, actually, I have some questions.
Two devices are open, so I think yours is echoing. Yeah, please ask questions.
So I'll ask.
Yes, yes, you may ask.
So as students of Sri University, and which is the Sri Ravi Shankar ji talks a lot about youth and spirituality, and I would like to know that to what extent do you think that spirituality is needed in our youngsters, and how are you as students of the university inculcating the values in you, and how are you propagating the values of Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar ji?
Beautiful. This is to a student, but before that, I would like to say Gurudev has told that anybody who has a spirit is spiritual. So, in that analogy, everybody in this planet is spiritual. There is nothing which is not spiritual. But here we definitely practices holistic education. So we believe that you have a right brain and a left brain. The left brain is nourished by logic, reasoning, and the right brain is nourished through music, abstracting, through creativity. So need a balance, and there is a mid brain, and which is which is balanced by meditation. So we urge, and this has been proved by modern science or ancient methodologies, that you have three components of education. One is music, one is logic, and one is meditation. That's how Lord Saraswati depicts a japamala, which signifies meditation, and a book which signifies logic, and a veena which signifies uh, right brain, that is music. These 3 years, so we strive to, or we aim to, or we have that synergy or that ecosystem to do. We do a lot of club activities, read, social service, or students, but because of pandemic, not many could have been done in last 2 years. But whatever small or big we could do, we are doing it. So I would request the new students, few of the new students who have joined recently, 1 month, 2 month old, to comment on this, what Mahima has asked you. So anyone, Tejaswini or Subhra, anybody would like to comment something? So how spirituality is ingrained in you, and how how we are getting benefited? Is it this is the question? How are you inculcating it in your life? Anyone who feels like answering, please answer. Meenal, you feel like answering it? You can raise your hand. I can unmute yourself. Anybody who is, or you can switch on your video. I can unmute. Meenal is not able to unmute. Yes. You unmute now, Meenal? Yes, please. No, unmute first and speak. Yeah. I think
Ma'am, ma'am, actually, sorry, I am facing some technical issues right now. I hope you understand. Firstly. So,
yes, please
ma'am,
continue.
ma'am, actually, now, you were saying in the books about the challenges you saw in your environment about body shaming and depression. So, the ma'am, actually, how did you overcome those issues? I will really like to know because many of my colleagues also have gone through it, and I personally have seen it. So,
She asked you a question. You answer it first, and then you can ask, and you can tell who has asked this question as well.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, please repeat the question. I was actually facing some technical
So
glitch.
how are you maintaining? How you're doing yoga, sadhana, all the pranayam, and also you're studying some commerce. No, you're studying. You are having a domain expertise and life skills simultaneously. So how are you? How? What are the changes you are seeing, or how are you ingrained this in your life? What Gurudev has taught us. So yes.
When I first joined this university, I didn't know much about Sudarshan Kriya and yoga, importance of yoga. But then through the Happiness Connect session, I actually liked the sessions and it actually gave me peace of mind. So, like after my study hours, since the classes are online, I used to go for Sudarshan Kriya for around 1 hour at evening time, and it actually helped with my anxiety issues and other social issues that I was facing. So it was actually a great help, and I will really recommend my peers who are here today that they should try it once.
I think, yeah, I think you have to recommend because I face because I am working and I have always tried to maintain a balance and manage spirituality and other things. You should definitely recommend me books and the things you said. We should connect later, and definitely I would like to learn a lot from you. And since you're managing studies and spirituality at the same time, I'm really amazed.
I'm actually like this spirituality aspect actually helps with our study for me because it gives a peace of mind which we really need from all the stress we get from studies and other activities from day to day life. So it's a really peaceful thing, I personally feel.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
most welcome, Mahima, to come anytime to Srish University.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Would really like to meet you on the campus.
Sure, I'll plan it out someday because I have a lot of things to learn, and I think you will have a lot of things to teach me as well. So definitely.
yes, we have also started this year engineering, but not core engineering. We have started the Faculty of Emerging Technologies on computer science, IT, uh, all that we have started this year.
That's really good to know.
Yes, Harshit, you would like to ask something? Should we wind up? Anybody who would like to ask, you can ask. Or
Ma'am,
Mahima would...
actually, I want to ask you something that since you have also gone through the same phase that now we are in, and I was saying like body shaming and feminism, dominating the females in the workplace is still existent there. So how did you actually overcame those problems when you came across them?
Um, like I said earlier that I have read a lot of books by women inspiring other women and empowering things that they write, and I believe that we should be able to understand uh, that we are powerful beings, as we are, and we have the courage to face the world that has a patriarchal view of women that the society says. And um, self acceptance, like I said, it was never easy for me as well, and everybody goes through that. And you should just try to understand and probe deep into your mind, that 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 and you should let yourself know that self-esteem should not be affected because of the judgment that a woman gets from society, and we should know our self-worth. And you should believe that the social media and the media and the view that society actually has of the patriarchal view that society has of women, how idealized women, that should not matter, and that should not affect your self-worth or your performance, just based on societal standards, I would say. And you should I know it's difficult to practice, and rather easy to say, but self-love and self-acceptance should be a major factor that should be ingrained in our brains, that we are powerful as and beautiful for the values and the strength that we hold inside us. And I hope that answers your question.
Yes, very nice. Now I would like
Yes,
to
ma'am, actually.
ask Meenal a question that we had a good conversation with Mahima. What did you learn from her? So what as a student, as a youth, you should learn and inculcate from seeing her
Um,
life?
Actually, I learned a lot from Mahima ma'am today, and especially I will like to really thank her for her efforts in making us understand that self-value and self-love is very important in this society, and especially for people like us. And being a woman, I also think that we should take a strong stand for us in the society, or else it will be quite difficult for us in the future. So it's very important that we defend other women also, and books of some famous personalities, and especially Mahima ma'am will also help us here in developing our self confidence.
Beautiful. You should also learn that how she is multitasking. She is working somewhere. She is writing books. She is keeping fitness, and she is reading a lot of books. There is, I always say, there is no shortcut of reading books. So you have to read
Yes,
books.
ma'am.
So how, I mean, the civilization can go very high tech, and but there is no alternative to reading books. What do you say, Mahima?
Ma'am, definitely books are major contributors in shaping one's personality. And I would like to ask if I'm audible, because I'm facing some network issues and it
Yes,
says
you are
connection
Ma'am, you are
audible.
audible.
audible, right?
You are
Okay.
audible.
So yeah, books, I'd say that they books help us cultivate some kind of empathy as we put ourselves in the shoes of the characters that we read, and we see so many so much perspective of people that have written the books, and it gives quite a lot of exposure to us. And and I would say that it is really an escape for reality sometimes also. And obviously it sharpens your thinking processes and analytical skills and vocabulary and all of that are secondary. But yeah, I think the main point being
Yes. So there is no shortcut to
Ma'am,
success, isn't it? So it's hard work. Read books.
True. So, ma'am, one of my fellow peers will like to ask you a question. If
Sure.
Yes, please. We may take up 1 or 2 questions and then we may wind up.
yes,
sure.
Nishant, you may go ahead.
Yes, Nishant. Please unmute yourself.
You can
and
type
speak.
it out. You can type it out if you can't unmute it.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I was going through an article in Dishabari, and I read a line from it that it was written that don't take refuge under my branches, or else you shall born with me. Ma'am, in this, who are you referring to these lines?
I am so sorry. Your voice is breaking. Is it for me or is it for everybody? Hello?
Okay, let me
Yes,
type it
you
out.
can type
Okay,
it.
let me type it out.
Yes, you can type it. Anyone who would like to speak can raise their hand when we may unmute them. So I'm sharing again. The name of the book that Mahima has written is Ink from the Night Sky. And we thought that from the Club of Public Relations and Social Outreach, as well as the Peace and Conflict Resolution Center, it is very relevant to have an interaction and to inspire many youths to take up a profession in writing or do something positive for this humanity. So we take a lot of things from this society. So we should give it back also. That way you feel good. So there is joy in giving as well.
Yeah.
And
It's a real
yeah, yes.
it's a really
Yes.
beautiful poster also. Whoever has made it has put a lot of effort into it.
Harshit has made this poster.
Thank you.
Harshit,
Thank you,
you are
Harshit.
already a co-host. You can unmute and speak. Harshit is studying first year agriculture.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to also ask you something. Like
Yes.
the Sarala Yuva Puraskar is actually a very prestigious award. So, how did you feel actually when you came to know that you will be getting such an award? Because it is like, you know, very difficult to get these kind of awards. And with such a beautiful work, what were your feelings when you came to know that you will get an award like the Sarala Yuva Puraskar award?
So definitely, I was very excited, and I was very honored that this award was being bestowed upon me, and this incredible honor, which is named after one of the greatest literary luminaries of Odisha, and I shall always treasure those moments as I march ahead in my life and my career, and I am incredibly humbled and grateful um, um, that I was able to receive the award.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am, so Nishant has posted a question.
Yes.
I'll read it out. Ma'am, he said, saying that he read a line from one of your poem. It was written that don't take refuge under my branch, or else you shall burn with. Whom exactly are you referring to in these lines? We wanted to ask.
First of all, I would like to thank Nishant for taking time out and reading out articles and actually thinking about it, pondering upon it. These lines that I have written are for the for any kind of these lines have a kind of a selfish overtone, and I probably would have written it when I was feeling distressed or a little low, and it has a little themes of turbulent overtones, and these are meant for whoever who tries to take refuge or take refuge under my branches, because I myself am I'm like a tree that I catch thunder from the sky, and if you will take refuge under my branches, then you'll have to burn with me. So that basically I meant that.
So nature is your extension. You are an extension hand of your nature, of the nature. No?
Yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from nature.
And you are beautifully personified in these lines.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I hope that answers Nishant's question.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mahima. Minal, should we end it here?
Yes, ma'am. I guess everyone is over with their questions. Since all good things have to come to an end, so now we have come to an end of this event. I would like to extend my thanks to Mahima ma'am for taking out time from her busy schedule and sharing some of her experiences with us. It is gonna be very helpful for us as well. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also thank Vijaya ma'am for giving us a wonderful opportunity to speak with such a inspiring personality. It would not have been possible without her to conduct such a beautiful and insightful webinar. Ma'am, please guiding us in the same manner in the future as well. I would also like to thank my team who has been working since a week to host such a wonderful event. And this came out so beautifully. Last but not the least, I will also like to thank the viewers who are present with us today on both the online and offline platform for being there with us. I hope they have learned a lot and enjoyed this session. Thank you, IT team, as well for providing the technical support to us. Thank you.
I would also like to thank everybody who is present here, and especially Vijayalaxmi ma'am and Shri University for hosting such a wonderful webinar. And I hope that I was able to convey something at least to everybody present here. And I think that I have a lot of learning to do, and I hope you'll be able to guide me. And for me, poetry has always been a secret language that connects people on a deeper level. So thank you for giving me this platform. I hope we can connect later so that you could give me guidance, your valuable insights.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
Mahima, definitely. We can always connect. And thank you very much for making it so beautiful evening for all of us. And you are most welcome anytime. And we can also make you interact with students and they can learn a lot from you. And yes, this Unfold and Dilate this is the first episode of Unfold and Dilate. Every year we have this club for many years, for 7-8 years we have this club, and every year students take new initiatives. So this year Harshit came up with the idea, the first year student of Faculty of Agriculture. He came up with the idea that we should do something. So Meenal is his elder sister. So she also helped and curated the whole thing, and I'm very happy that they come out this no so they did this show for the first time. We generally do a lot of offline events. Since offline events are not possible, we conduct online event, but I believe that online we connecting more people, and we are saving a lot of time. So this is a great way, and this is a great platform to connect. Thank you once again, and most welcome to Swiss University. And let us be connected for a better world, for a peaceful world, and for a world which doesn't have conflict. So let us pray for such. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It
Thank
was an
you.
amazing session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you to you.
Let's stop the live streaming of Facebook. I am pausing the recording.